What up, everybody? It's another Champagne Shark stream. I'm Be the Star with, of course, the famous Kenny, aka Lazarus Lives.
Yeah, well, Lazarus is dead now, so.
Now we go. You don't, well, you said he's not being resurrected, so.
Well, I can't. Well, I can still see my Twitter page, but I think you can't see it.
Yeah, I think it's like you can see everybody else, but we can't see you.
Yeah, I don't know why they do that. I thought I was gonna be if I'm suspended, then suspend me, ban me.
Yeah, that's how I feel, but they just want you to be tortured, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah,
Um,
I'm not on Twitter or nothing like that. I gave everybody my Instagram page. Some people joined it, some people didn't. I don't really post on Instagram like that anyway. So
yeah, you guys should follow him on Instagram, so you can bother him and ask
yeah,
him.
man.
And
I
ask
can't
him
in the chat.
why he be on Twitter tripping and why he always getting banned.
Well, I had some ideas. I had some good stuff that I was trying to do, but I'm gonna keep it under the wraps. But it's not working out right now for some interviews that I want to do. We talked about it, but it ain't happening the way I would like it to right now. But we'll keep pushing, see what happens.
We'll keep you guys up to date on what's new, what's popping.
Yeah,
We're trying to get this OnlyFans thing going.
yeah.
Somebody said in the Discord, Sharks After Dark.
Yeah.
So we should call it that. If you haven't yet, check out our latest podcast about religion. It's me, Kenny, and Mario. So far, people really like it. We have a really good discussion about religion and church and cults and so forth and so on. So I really recommend you guys check it out. What up, everybody in the chat? Shout out to our RP, Solam, Sean Melvin, Iceman on Twitch. Thank you so much. Other guys on YouTube and Periscope. Shout out to you guys as well. This episode, we wanted to talk about Nipsey Hussle and his legacy, his impact, what he's meant to us on the West, and what he has meant to everyone around the world. Please feel free to chime in. Rest in peace, Nip. I'm in South Central. Many of you guys know I'm literally down the street from Crenshaw and Slauson. So it's my neighborhood. When he was killed, I was at home, and a friend of mine was just leaving my house, and he left. He goes to he told me he's gonna go to the store because he actually was a friend of Nipsey's, and he was gonna go to the store just to buy some stuff or whatever. He goes to head over there, and there's yellow tape everywhere. And he didn't know. Now, mind you, nobody knows Nipsey's dead yet, or he was shot or anything. You just see the yellow tape. Now, mind you, there's always yellow tape somewhere in South Central. So that's not really alarming.
That's not nothing
it wasn't
new.
Until later, when all of us found out what happened. Unfortunately, he was shot and murdered by, what's his name?
They call him Shitty Cuz, but I don't know his real name. I forgot his real name. He had a name that was he's got a name that's the same as a famous person.
Right, but I can't remember for some reason.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Darren or something. I don't remember.
I forgot. Anyway. Is there anything going on down there right now? Like any type of
Eric Holder, that's what his name was.
Eric Holder, yeah.
I think I saw something about his trial recently. I think that he was trying to make bail, or he made bail or something, which
he made bail.
Something like that. He was trying to make bail.
Interesting.
Yeah, I can look it up. But yeah, so it was. My mother called me and told me. I was literally driving on my way to Walmart, pulled into the parking lot. I was just listening. I never forget this because it was a trip. I was listening to Nipsey, which isn't really, I mean, I'm always listening to Nipsey, but I was listening to a particular song, Nipsey and Mozzie, Ain't Hard Enough. My mother calls me, and she's like, Nipsey's been shot. Now, when she said it, again, nobody knows he's dead.
Right.
She tells me he's been shot. So I'm fucked up behind the whole thing. But I'm walking around Walmart just like hoping, like, oh my God, I hope to God he's not dead. But when I kept refreshing online as if there was the update, they kept saying someone died, but they didn't say who. That's when I knew it was Nipsey.
That's the same thing I got. I was driving, and my brother told me he got shot, but I didn't know he was dead. And then I went on Twitter, and I kept seeing stuff, and it kept saying somebody was dead, but they didn't say who it was. And the thing about it is, like, I was tripping because I was like, that don't even seem real. And I didn't even know any of the ramifications or the story or nothing. But I was like, that don't even seem real. Like that shit, it seemed like that. And like, yeah, with Kobe, it seemed like that was worse than when Tupac died, because really Tupac died, but one, it wasn't in LA, it was in Vegas. But another thing was, it was like Tupac didn't belong to LA.
Right.
Nipsey and Kobe belonged to LA.
Right.
A little bit different.
Yeah. Especially Nip. I would say Nip probably more than anybody. I know for me, that was the biggest celebrity death since Aaliyah. Aaliyah was a big one for me. Being a girl, teenage girl, Aaliyah was like,
oh yeah.
I can't even explain to you what Aaliyah meant to me. Especially she came out when I was in 5th grade. She was a tomboy. I was a tomboy. And tomboys weren't exactly the sexiest until about the 90s.
Late 90s.
it was a little era in there. I didn't like dresses and skirts, raised by guys. So Aaliyah I had that connection. But as an adult, what made Nipsey's even harder for me is that his impact on LA. And when I say impact, I don't just mean that we loved him, because we did, but what he was doing here before he was famous, before he got a deal with Atlantic, before he was nominated for a Grammy, before any of those things, but he had songs on the radio, and really they didn't even play his songs on the radio much until he died. Before even any of that, he was already in the community. He wasn't famous. He was in the community talking to the youth. We knew who he was.
Famous.
He was going to the youth camps, the like prison camps over in Miami. Not Miami, Malibu.
Yeah.
And there's these camps up in the hills over there. They're like they're detention centers or whatever for youth. And he would go up there and talk to them.
Yeah.
And meet with them. These are kids who he was like telling them, look, you got to hear, you start a business. You can do this, this, and this. What are your dreams? What are your goals? And you sit there talking to them, somebody they can relate to and connect.
He just happened to rap.
That's really what it is. When I think of certain people who are rappers, there's some people who are really rappers second. I would say Nipsey, even though he was a dope ass rapper, he was a lyricist, he could rap his ass off. So nobody's taking away his artistry and rap, but he was bigger than that.
There's something I heard somebody say, they were talking about not just him, but his whole family, like their family, if they get shit done.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they do. Yeah.
His father was his brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Absolutely.
Yeah, they get stuff done. Like when they set their mind to doing something, they have a dream, they'll do anything they got to do to achieve that dream. Not, within their means. But they really, when they really are successful. Like you don't even see Black Sam on TV. I haven't seen no interviews with Black Sam or nothing.
Not really.
You don't see nothing with him. But
and the other thing is, they were visible in the community. His dad would be up at the store. His brother it was his brother's store, really. So his brother ran it. I would see his brother every time I went up there.
Yeah.
His brother even thanked me one day, because I literally, whenever I had a friend or a family member come to LA, I always had them stop at the Nipsey Hussle store. At the time, it was called Slauson Ave, but nobody called it that. We called it Nipsey store.
Right.
This is before it was the Marathon store. Before it was a store everybody knew about. And I would tell people, everybody would come in there. People would buy stuff. People loved it. And most of the shirts just said Crenshaw or Slauson on it. Or the Marathon. They didn't have all the designs that they have now.
Right.
And so people would always walk out with something. And Black Sam stopped me, and he's like, yo, I love that whenever you come, you bring people, and they always buy something. And I said, this is like, I have to support.
I mean, I started seeing the Crenshaw t-shirts. I started seeing those t-shirts probably around like 2009, 2010, something like that. Like those shirts have been around for a long time.
Yep. I used to buy for people. Yep.
Yeah. At first, I thought they were from Crenshaw High School, but because the lettering is the same, like Crenshaw High School, but it's different colors. I started seeing the different colors. I'm like, okay, that's not Crenshaw.
Yeah, they have different colors. And he does actually have the school colors ones too.
Yeah.
The yellow and blue ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the thing that made him so important here in LA in particular was his visibility and the noticeable impact.
The most important thing is like he made it true that you don't have to leave the hood. You know what I'm saying? Like because even after he died, you had these people coming out saying, "Oh, well, maybe he shouldn't have been blah blah blah." It's like
people say that all the time. He was too accessible. He shouldn't have been in the hood.
Before that happened, they were saying that's what made him great. But then when something does happen, now it's he shouldn't have been. You know what I'm saying? It's like okay.
Well, they were actually depending on who you talk to, right? So those of us here, that was definitely the switch. I think people were like, it was what made him great. And then when he died, we were so hurt. I think so many of us came out of it with, he shouldn't have been so accessible, right? Which on some hand, I actually do feel like he was a little too accessible at a certain point. But I think the other part of that is that people who weren't from here had been saying not to be here for a very long time. When he built that, so the Marathon store is actually a smart store, right? So you could, like, many of the products and things around the store, or logos, the keychain, you scan it, you get exclusive access to certain things around Nipsey, right? His mixtapes or songs or whatever, right? Some other exclusive stuff. What makes that so dope is no other artist had something like that, where basically you were continuing purchasing from this artist. It was a great business strategy, honestly.
Yeah.
And it was very tech savvy. It was very up to date. I've seen the pictures of the store. It's very, very nice. But before that, it was like a little hood shop that sold socks and t-shirts. And people were saying, well, if you're going to build this smart store, don't build it on Crenshaw and Slauson, because it's the hood. Like, it's the hood, right? They said to build it on Fairfax. People who are into fashion and all that, hipster shit, sneakers and shit, they know about Fairfax. Fairfax is where, what are those stores?
Undefeated is there. Lucy is
Diamond
there.
Supply Company.
Yeah, Diamond Supply. Supreme. Yeah.
All those kind of stores. So that's where they were telling him he should build his store, with all of the other kind of boutiques and shops that are over there.
Yeah, but the problem, if they would have did that, the problem would have been you would have had people not from your community buying your product. Which is, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you don't want the Crenshaw shirt. The Crenshaw shirt would have turned into the Wu-Tang t-shirt. That's what it would have turned into.
Yes, and I think the other thing was a couple of things. One, he wanted us in the community to see it.
Yeah,
it should be something we have access to. The problem is so many things we need access to. We want access to. We have to leave the hood to do, right?
Right.
There's no best Trader Joe's in the hood. You got to go to other communities for that. Look, did something happen to my? Can you see me, Kenny?
Yeah, but it's real choppy.
Can you guys hear us? Is it my internet?
I don't know, but it's real choppy.
Connection is unstable. It's saying my connection is unstable. Oh, wow. And my internet being called Victory Lap. Okay, how's it now? Is it better?
You're good now. You're good.
Okay. What point was I making?
I don't know. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, shit. Better now. Okay, but I forgot what I was saying. I hate when that happens, so I totally lose my train of thought.
Yeah, it was visibility, I think. Yeah.
Well, the visibility of it is important, so we could. I'll say, because we don't have, other stores in the hood. We don't have a Best Buy. We don't have a Trader Joe's. We have to literally leave our communities to go frequent these types of stores. He was saying, no, y'all got to come here to buy this stuff. So everybody else can buy it, but you got to come bring the money to our community, where he hires from our community. There were always Black people working in that store, young Black people, women and men. For some reason, I don't know why, there's this thing online, these same trash bitches that like to down Black men, that like to shit on Nipsey for whatever reason. And that's one of the things I say, like, he was anti-dark-skinned Black women, as though there weren't dark-skinned Black women working in his store. You know what I mean? Like, it was,
you got to remember, those people never even been to the store. Wait, forget the store. They ain't never been to LA.
They haven't.
Huh?
No, facts. Even when people were kind of calling him homophobic, and it was interesting to me because when he died, so many people who were openly gay and trans, there were trans people at the memorial crying. You know what I mean? So his impact was, it was not limited, and it was not just, like they
And
like
these
bring up,
and
oh,
these
the
same
federal
people doing it,
black man.
they never even listen to his music anyway.
They brag about it. They brag about it. They don't even listen to his music. But they listen
which
to
is
City
great.
Girls who don't talk about shit and don't even write their own shit. But God forbid, listen to Nipsey Hussle. But anyway, his impact of being visible in the community is important. Hiring from the community is important. Giving back to the community is important. And the message was always the same: we can do it ourselves. We don't have to rely on most outside spaces to take care of us in South Central. That was the message, and it was clear.
That was the most important thing that I got from is that he's self-contained, self-owned, and he ain't asking nobody for nothing. And not only that, he want to build with other people. So you saw him doing music with Bloods. You saw him doing music with people from Compton. Yep. And we know that Compton and South Central is
He has a song with Schoolboy Q. Schoolboy Q from Hoover.
Yeah.
Hoovers and 60s don't get along.
At
In fact,
all.
there was a whole summer where they were beefing, and it was tough out here. So the fact that he did a song with Schoolboy Q says a lot.
Yeah. So I mean, you got you had a person that was actually pushing change in a community where people had gave up on it. People have given up on that community. You know what I'm saying? So because when they say don't have the store on Crenshaw and Slauson, basically what you're saying is don't make no money in your community, it's worthless.
That's literally what it is. That's what they were telling him. Your community is worthless. And he wasn't buying it. And he didn't buy it. And he gave, I can't explain how much he gave to the community, how much he gave to people. There was a time, again, before he was even where he was before when he died, he would just be in the hood giving out shoes to the kids. Literally on Crenshaw and Slauson, just giving out shit to the kids. He would be at events. He would be in the community. He was somebody who was more than just the music. The music was great because that was where we got the inspiration.
That was the vehicle.
Right, exactly. Remember I was saying, like, some people to me are something else before they're even rappers, and I think Nipsey was that. Nipsey was a philosopher. He was an innovator. He was an investor.
Very intelligent.
He was very intelligent, extremely intelligent. He was a revolutionary in his own way, There's some people
a lot of people he got on people's radar once he started talking about Dr. Sebi. That's when a lot of people started getting on a lot of people's radar around that time. Mm-hmm. But even before then, he was saying this stuff long time. I mean, I first heard about Nip and started listening to his music on a consistent basis probably around 2014, 2015, something like that. Because at first I didn't know who he was. I just thought he was just some rapper. I didn't know who he was. But then I had to go back. And there was a point when you listen to his early stuff, a lot of gangbanging, stuff like that. But then he started elevating. Yeah. And that's the thing about rap, man, hip hop. Like people say they want to hear Jay-Z rap like he did in 1995. For what? Why would he be rapping about that? That doesn't make any sense. So he graduated beyond rapping about being from 60s. He's still from 60s, but he's talking about elevating into another level on doing other things. And that was the most important thing that I got from him. Yeah.
Absolutely. And who he was talking to. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
His target demographic wasn't a bunch of the, bougie Negroes or a bunch of complex writers and bloggers who've never been to the hood. No, he had a very specific and clear message that, here are the steps you can take to stop doing the fuck shit. He represented 60s all day. He was not shying away from his gangbanging culture, life, or any of that. But what he was trying to do is say, well, we can do something else.
Right. And he did. They was doing something else. I mean, tragedy.
Right. He wasn't just saying it. He was doing it, being an example of it. Absolutely.
Yeah, tragedies happen all the time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we can talk about, it ain't just him. There's tragedies that happen with politicians, good people all around. It's just that it seemed like there was a point in time where he became like a role model. Like you could tell, you can see that if you listen to Nip music, and I got all of his shit, but if you listen to all of his music, when he did Victory Lap, you could tell it was like, that was the pinnacle. That was the one. What was going to come after that? I don't know. If anything was going to come after that. If he never made another album after Victory Lap, it wouldn't matter. Because that was the pinnacle, and that was him basically saying, I made it. Not only did I make it, you can make it too. And look, I'm going to show you how.
Exactly.
This is how we're going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you ain't with it, that's cool, but this is how we're going to do it.
He talks about changing the way that you think. He talks about elevating yourself. He Talks about believing in yourself when nobody else believes in you.
Yeah,
and tells the story like, I've been there, I've done that, and
it's different, and that's different than what Tupac was saying. Tupac was saying some of the same things, but you could tell Tupac was still fighting these demons. He was fighting on which way he should go. You know what I'm saying?
Towards he was only 26. Nipsey was 33. Being over 30 makes a big difference.
Exactly. That's the difference. So Nip 33 years old. You ain't got to do that. I already did that. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Don't do that. Go this way. Meet me over here. Now be prepared to put in the work. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna be easy. Be prepared to put in the work, but I'm telling you that once you sow the right seed, you're gonna bear fruit. And that was the most important thing I got from all of his music, just growing.
So I actually, I'm in a bunch of stuff regarding it, and because when he passed, one of the things because I was a big Nipsey fan, but even back when he was in the banging shit.
Funny enough, because brothers ain't got no names and all that shit.
Yeah, and funny enough, a lot of my friends and family and stuff did not like him. My brother wasn't really a fan.
Oh yeah, a lot of people didn't like him at all.
And I loved him, but I like hood LA shit. But at the same time, I think what made me love him is for some reason I could still hear other. I can always, whenever I listen to artists, I can always hear other stuff underneath if they write their own shit. I can usually
yeah.
And Nipsey always, to me, had another insider perspective that I felt others didn't have. The other thing was I heard interviews with him. Because I remember when Hustle in the House came out, and there were all these interviews. That's the song that really got him like moving in LA. And there were in these interviews with him, but he wasn't talking about the shit the interviewer wanted him to talk about, banging and shit. He's talking about building in the community and investing in the community and taking your money and investing it and all this kind of shit. And I ain't never heard no gangster rappers talking that shit.
Well, because he was probably the first. The only other rappers I can think of that when you say they're real gang members, like him, Trey D,
Glasses.
Yeah, Glasses. Like a real gang member, why would they want to talk about gang banging in an interview? That's not. It's not important.
It's funny that you say that because one of the first radio interviews that I did was with Glasses Malone. I interviewed Glasses Malone. Actually, it wasn't even a radio interview. This is before I even got a job in radio. I literally had a rinky-dink show on Blog Talk Radio where you do your shows from your telephone.
KPFK or something like that?
No, not KPFK. That's actual radio. I'm talking about, and on top of that, KPFK is from Santa Barbara down to San Diego. So that's a big radio station. No, I had a rinky-dink internet Blog Talk Radio web show where I had to host the show from my phone. Okay. Somehow somebody liked my show and they loved it, that they went and started getting me interviews. And Glasses Malone was one of those interviews. And when I was interviewing him, I was asking him about politics. So I think Obama and Hillary were running against each other. And I asked him his thoughts on that. And then at the end of the interview, at the end of him answering that question in the interview, he says to me, nobody ever thinks to ask me these questions. I can tell you're going to go far because nobody asks me these questions. They want to ask me about my mom being locked up. They want to ask about drug dealing and gang banging. Yep. Nobody asks me these kind of questions. And that was literally the interview that changed my life. Like I knew at that point, that's what I wanted to do. Because I realized the same thing I think Nipsey realized, which is that when you're a certain type of Black male in particular, you get pushed to the side and you get relegated and marginalized. And people don't have belief that you can think about other things, that you have belief. I saw something on Twitter today, and they were talking about. Remember, I don't know if I showed it to the group, but there was some bullshit story from the New York Daily Mail or Daily News, whatever that shit's called, and it had this corny ass statement saying that, some guy in the Home Depot said something like to allegedly beat up an Asian guy and said, "I'll shoot you, I'm a blood," or something, right? Which isn't right. Clearly, he didn't say like this is not a real gang. It sounds like a made up story a white person made up.
Yeah, you call him a jive turkey after that too.
Somebody else said something like, "Did he ask us to kiss his pip cane after?" Like, So, but in the comments, somebody said Bloods go to Home Depot now. They moved up. I was thinking, Bloods go everywhere. Like, what
are
you
talking everywhere?
About? So I remember I was in college. Someone said, "What gangbangers have jobs?" I said, "Plenty of gangbangers have jobs. What are you talking about?" People really
believe jobs on that campus.
Listen, because of the perspective that we've been told about people who, black males in particular, again, who in the streets, who are gangbanging, because of our perception of them, they tend to get marginalized and pushed out. Nobody wants to.
Gang members don't ever tell their story. Somebody else is always telling it.
Absolutely.
So that's why it's great that we have people like Kev Mack. You know what I'm saying? So everybody that watches Kev Mack videos, you hear stories from the gang members. You're not hearing it from an outsider or someone who knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. No, these are real human beings. And just because you're in a gang is no different if they don't do this when they interview biker gangs. You know what I'm saying? They glorify that as something classic. Yeah, this is the biker gang, the Mongols, or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? And they get to have a legend. They're legends. The same thing with Italians and the mafia. They're legends. They get movies made after them, and they're elegant, and they're being made to seen on a pedestal. Now, never mind these motherfuckers that shoot, kill, rob, steal, and go to prison like gang members do.
Nope. Nobody cares.
But nobody cares.
I'm just going to show you guys something that I wrote. So this magazine, LA magazine, I don't know, they did some type of special impact issue. And they did this thing where they talked about Nipsey. There's a whole tribute in here.
Nice.
Yeah, because this is an LA magazine. It's like it's really a bougie magazine that represents LA. I can't really vouch too much for it, but it has a really dope tribute. The magazine's $50. So when I say bougie,
$50,
it's a bougie it's a $50 magazine. Yeah, it's printed in Beverly Hills, Rodeo Drive. Man, why they give a fuck about Nipsey? I don't know. I didn't ask. They asked me to write something, and I wrote. And in the piece, I'm going to share it because I tweeted it as well. And the reason why I wrote what I wrote the way I wrote it is because I felt like there was a part of the conversation around Nipsey that was getting missed, and why he was so important to so many young people growing up in South Central, and why particularly South Central, not
San Diego.
Right, not San Diego. But communities like South Central and communities like South Central. And this is what I had wrote. Can you guys see it? Can you see it, Kenny?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to make it bigger, but I don't think I can. But it says, growing up, we were throwaways. The city didn't care, the state didn't care, our schools didn't care. We have had to fight hard for the little we've gotten. I believe many of us underestimate our skills and talents because of this. We don't know who we are and what we have. Nipsey Hussle was more than just amazing music. He was walking motivation. He showed us that regardless of what the outside world says, we are worthy and we matter. And he showed us that we didn't need the outside world to build us up, because we can do that ourselves. He was an example of a Black man who didn't cower to become a respectable Negro. He was himself, always. By building visible businesses on Slauson and Crenshaw, he provided hope for those of us who aspire to bring wealth into our communities. He was an example of what can happen when we don't let society dictate our worth. Watching Nipsey become a part of the movement to fend off gentrification gave us hope for our community. He invested in youth at every stage of his career. Before songs on the radio and Grammy nominations, he helped us to see ourselves so we could love ourselves. I'm not discounting the value of his music. It was a part of the bigger picture and incredibly significant. In his songs, Nipsey highlighted the importance of independence in business. He shared strategies, told us what books he read, and how to dream big and make it a reality. He inspired us to take the limits off of our minds so we could see how powerful we really are. So that was it.
That's dope.
Yeah, I really felt like people didn't really understand the power of someone like Nipsey Hussle. When you grow up in a community where every single day it feels like you're told you ain't shit. Right. Every day. That's what it feels like when kids go to schools, like the schools that we had to go to in South Central. When you go to schools where you don't have a teacher for half the semester, you don't have a desk, the teacher has to go next door to borrow desks. You have ceiling tiles literally falling on your head while you sit there trying to study. You can't even go to the bathroom because they got them locked down because they never fix them. Damn. You have to walk through piles. You have to walk through backed up sewage because the drains don't work on the ground when it rains. This is literally my daily life, right? Daily, getting yelled at, talking crazy to you all day. I was one of the quote unquote good kids. That didn't stop them from screaming at us. Right. Get out of here. What are you doing? Go to class. You know, like we fucking animals. That's what we dealt with growing up out here. I was one of the quote unquote good kids in the lives pushed aside we're going through. I was having my backpack searched. The quote unquote good kids in the college program. So imagine what those other kids were going through every fucking day. So every day you have society in your school, in your city telling you ain't shit, you ain't worth shit. You don't even deserve a book. You don't even deserve a teacher. You don't even deserve none of this shit. Fuck you. That's what it feels like every fucking day. That's what it felt like for me. That's why I'm so passionate about the work that I do now. That's literally how I felt every fucking day. Then you have somebody like Nipsey telling you, nah, fuck that shit. You are great. You can build your shit up. Fuck
you great for the simple fact that you from here.
Facts. That's exactly what it was. There was a reason why he shouted out Crenshaw and Slauson. There was a reason why he said South. He was very clear. Crenshaw from Imperial to Adams. That was very clear because Crenshaw's a big ass street. So when people say they were in Crenshaw, I want to smack them. It's not a city. It's a fucking street.
Yeah.
If they don't say the Crenshaw district, then they're saying the street. Yeah. But either way, you know, we were right. It was about South Central. So yeah, it's about South Central. Go ahead. I don't mean to go on my little rant, but that shit, people don't know how powerful that is to have somebody from your community that you see every fucking day, that you see walking down the street, that you see in his store, and he's telling you.
It's a little bit different. It's a little bit different for the simple fact that if you go like in a bigger city, like in New York City, there's so many people. There's so many rappers. Yes. There's so much going on. Now you compare that to like Nip, there really ain't a lot of rappers from South Central. Yep. Kendrick is from Compton. Yep. YG is from Compton. That's different. Even back in the day, that's why South Central was so proud of NWA. It's South Central, even though they were saying Compton.
Ice Cube was the only one from South Central.
Yeah, he was the one saying South Central. So you don't really even have a lot of rappers coming from South Central LA, let alone saying where they from. They might say they from LA. I mean, where's Montel Jordan from? He's from South Central, right?
Yeah. South Central does it like nobody does.
Exactly. He made it a point to South Central because you know it's different. And you say Watts, it's different when you say Compton. It's different when you say something else. So it's just a different thing. So someone's got to represent that. That could Inglewood. You know what I'm saying? So it's different when you're representing that community because that's different. Whether it's from gangs, education, jobs, it's different. It's a different community. So I thought it was very important that he put an emphasis on that. And that's one of the things that I heard. I don't know if it was, I forgot who it was. It might have been Big U, but they say he was the first rapper that was saying where he's from. He's from Crenshaw and Slauson. He's from Rolling 60s. Before, you got rappers saying like Snoop Dogg, he says he's a Crip. He says from Long Beach, you know what I'm saying? But that's still kind of vague. You know what I'm saying? But when you say I'm from Rolling 60s, I'm from Crenshaw and Slauson, we know exactly who you talking about, and we know where. Crips and Bloods Made in America is not accurate.
I've never seen it.
There's not. Stacey Peralta and Baron Davis made that one. It's not very accurate at all.
When did it come out? I've literally never seen it.
Oh, 2011, 2012. Oh, yeah, it's good. It's good, but it's not very accurate. If you want a more accurate one, Bastards of the Party.
I was gonna say, I've seen Bastards of the Party. Actually, I had to watch that in 2 different classes, in sociology classes in college.
Yeah,
I had to watch it for my sociology and violence class. Yeah. And I had to watch it for my social class in LA or something, a race class Race and Class in LA or something like that, and I had to watch that.
Message of the Party is more accurate, and Bone is from South Central. Well, he's from the Jungles, so he's from Baldwin Village.
Jungles is South Central.
Yeah, it's South Central.
It's all that South Central. But yeah, you know, I guess my key thing was just people understanding the impact that Nipsey had beyond just music. And the reason why I want to talk about that, because I feel like I go online and I see people say stupid shit. I seen a girl today say some shit, but this person, I blocked her a while ago.
Yeah. It's probably somebody you blocked.
Yeah, I was being nosy and I forgot. I don't remember everybody I blocked. So I blocked so many people. So I went to see, you know how you can choose to see the thing from the person you blocked. So I checked to see, because my friend had retweeted it and said something. And I said, what the fuck, what is she responding to? So I looked, and this bitch said some shit did anybody really listen to Nipsey's music?
She wanted attention.
And I'm thinking to myself, you said this on the anniversary of his death because clearly people were impacted by him, music or not. But clearly people liked his music because when he died, people all over the world were fucking impacted. People outside of South Central felt that same motivation. Yeah, I seen a fucking tribute to him in fucking someplace in Europe, one of the little small countries. I forgot which one it was. Now that I'm thinking about, I can't think of which one it was. Some small country in Europe. I said, damn, it was there.
She wanted attention. That's all it was. And that's why I'm glad I'm not on Twitter anymore.
That's one of the best reasons to not be on Twitter, to be 100% honest with you. Because
people will find a way to get on your nerves just to get attention. And that's what she was trying to do. She knows damn well that wasn't even a question that needed to be asked. Because if you don't listen to it, why would you go on Twitter and ask everybody if they listen to it? Like, why does it matter to you? Right. Why does it matter?
Because she wanted to start shit. That's the kind of shit
you need some fucking attention, like a child.
Yeah, that's the kind of shit people do for, like you said, for attention. But the dope thing is that Nipsey had such a huge impact. People like her don't fucking matter.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we talking about Nip. We ain't talking about shit she did.
Yep.
That's how I always look at it. Well, what do you do? Because who are you? Who are you to speak down on somebody that has clearly had such an impact on people's lives for you to do it on the day he died?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of rappers were killed the same year as Nip. Ain't no one really showing love to them like they were, like there is Nip. Yeah. Oh, like there is Nip. She needs to be pushed down concrete stairs. I mean, let me just say, I don't believe in violence, but if it happens, I understand.
I understand exactly. I understand.
I just say that I stole that from Chris Rock. I ain't saying I agree. I ain't saying I approve. I ain't saying I condone it. But I understand.
Yeah. I definitely understand why people would get mad about that. But that's the thing is, like, you can't give that person no attention and none of your energy, because you've heard me say this before. When I was on Twitter, majority, 80% of the people I had blocked on there was black women. And it was sad. It's sad because I'm like, God, and it's just, I don't know if it's a coincidence, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you want attention, like, what is this all about? You know what I'm saying? Why do you need that kind of attention? You don't have anything else to offer. What do you got to offer besides this? Nothing? Delete your account.
Because they don't have anything to talk about. They don't have anything. And one thing I realized from listening to some, we have the little Clubhouse version or shit on Twitter now, and I realized a lot of people aren't that smart. Like they're not. They're not. And then you listen to them talk, and you listen to how they talk to each other and how they debate, and they can't debate. They're dumb. Some of them I don't think are missing.
When you have time to just sit and get your thought together and type something, you can come off as kind of smart. But when you actually have to think,
whole different animal.
Huey, tell you, dumb as this chair I'm sitting in.
Huey Freeman said Victory Lap should have won the Grammy. I'm gonna be real with you. Fuck the Grammys. I can give a shit about the Grammy.
He just got his first Grammy after 30 years.
And I get what you mean. Like if he had gotten the Grammy, I would have been happy for him and had he been alive. I mean, because I know what that means for the artists and the opportunities that gives them, right? So when Rhapsody was nominated for a Grammy, I was really happy for her career-wise. So I know what the kind of access that gives you just to say you have a Grammy award, a Grammy nomination. They say, I know she's getting paid to do DoorDash commercials, you know?
Right.
And I was like, ain't that Rhapsody's voice? I know Rhapsody's voice when I hear it.
Yep.
But so I do think when artists are alive to receive those awards and can benefit from it, I get it.
Yeah, they give it to them when they die on purpose.
What'd you say?
They give it to them when they die on purpose.
Oh, those posthumous awards, I fucking hate them. I hate those because I'm like, you knew that they were dope when they were alive. Why you wait till they died? And then you knew they was close to dying 10 years ago, But anyway, I really feel like the thing about the Grammys is that how can you let a bunch of white people who don't even make their own music, who literally copy your music and do it badly, give you an award for music? Like, who the fuck are they? Like, I always think of it that way. Who the fuck are these people to give you an award for your music when all they do is copy your shit? What the fuck do they know about music? I see.
You know what? You should do some research. I don't know who's on the Academy list, but the Grammy Academy, none of these people are one. Very few of them are black, but
most of them are never black.
Yeah, most of them don't even know anything about music. They just got asked to be on the committee.
But even if they do, the thing I know about award shows, any award show, especially the bigger the award show, the more likely this is. It's all about who you know, who's ass you kiss. It has nothing to do with your talent or your work, ever. All of it has to do with who you know. Those people have to kiss ass. If you're on the award, if you're on the list for the Academy Awards or for the Grammy, if you're the person that has a vote, people gotta kiss your fucking ass. You ever see BoJack Horseman? I always laugh about that because they talk about that in BoJack Horseman. It's one of my favorite shows.
I don't like the reason why I don't like about the Grammys is how Negroes be begging for awards. Like, bro, these are
white people.
These people they don't fuck with you. They don't listen to your music anyway. They don't listen to it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Ninth Wonder was at it. Okay.
The funny thing is about him being on there, that was probably how Rhapsody got on there because that was when Rhapsody's his artist.
Yeah, this is his artist. Yeah. I mean, and another reason he's on there because he started going around to different colleges, going to Harvard. He was teaching a class at Harvard and things like that. But there's other people
none of that shit.
Yeah,
none of that shit. Not him. He's fine.
Yeah,
but Granny's, Harvard, Rice University. That's another one. UCLA. All these schools with rappers teaching or schools about hip hop classes. Like, I don't trust none of that shit.
No.
Ever since I learned, and I don't have that. Do I have that book around here? I think I showed you guys that same book. I show you guys every time how they killed R&B, whatever that book is called. The Death of R&B by Nelson George. That book. Ever since I read that book, I say fuck all them institutions because they're purposely trying to steal our shit.
Yeah.
So I can't trust any entity that white people who don't know shit about music. They're gonna pass out awards for music. They don't even create their own music. Literally every genre of American music that you listen to was created by black people. Every single one.
Well, if you're gonna have white people on the committee, have artists on the committee.
But you talking about the actual artists, because the artists, of course, they're gonna have a feeling about it. I don't have a surprise about that. But if when you get the Grammy, I guess you would be honored, quote unquote, because guess what? Now your money's gonna be looking different.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
I never fought artists for that.
Once you become Grammy nominated or a Grammy winner, then you're gonna get asked to do things, and you're gonna get credit for things just for the simple fact that you're Grammy nominated. And in the industry,
you have to submit for a nomination. It doesn't just happen. So you wanted to get nominated.
But even your price goes up. So once you become nominated for a Grammy, your price for doing things, you actually can benefit from it by having your price go up. If you make beats, you know what I'm saying, and you get nominated, like Timberland's been nominated. I think he's probably even won Grammys. I'm sure he's probably charged about $75,000 for a beat.
Yep.
As compared to someone.
Once you get certain awards, and not even just awards, it's like you could, like, I'm gonna tell you the truth, and I learned this when I had to put together my professional website. A lot of people who work in entertainment, media, show business, they will just list the fact they worked with somebody. Literally, they worked on a film where the executive producer was, and you start listing on executive producers. You didn't meet any of these people. You were just on the
that's how you build your resume. Yep.
Right. And Sorry, I dropped my top to my water bottle. But yeah, so my thing about those awards and things like that, though, is that a lot of times you have to submit for that. So artists say fuck the Grammys and still submit their work. So
I mean, there's business, and then there's your personal feelings. It's business to submit it to the Grammys because if you win or get nominated, your price for work goes through the fucking roof. Yes. But then it's also, man, fuck that. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I'm still gonna keep it with my people over here. I'm not about to sell out and then all of a sudden, oh no, I can't work with you. I'm a Grammy nominated artist. I can't work with, you know what I'm saying? Like Whitney Houston saying she won Grammys, but now all of a sudden she can't work with Patti LaBelle. Like that doesn't even make any fucking sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I didn't know either until when people would ask, well, why so and so wasn't nominated. They use the label. You'll find on the label. Oh, the label didn't submit.
They didn't send it in.
Or they submitted it, or they didn't submit it on time, or something like that. So yeah.
Like next year, this next Grammys, you'll see Busta Rhymes in there for his latest album. I guarantee you, they're gonna submit it in there. Yeah.
I like this point. They still he says shop, but I don't think he meant shit. They steal your shit and sell it back to you. That's the story of pretty much everything in America. I talk about this all the time. Even the shit that I teach around trauma and healing from trauma, that's not shit white people came up with. Yoga and meditation is some European shit.
No.
But somehow they now have power yoga and
hip hop yoga.
And
trap yoga. I've seen them doing trap yoga.
Trap yoga. Yeah. So my shit chop up again.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, man.
It's StreamYard. It's probably StreamYard.
Oh. Big Grammys hacking my internet. Sometimes it's the feds, sometimes it's the Grammys. Well, the feds get on Mario. If you listen to the podcast.
Yeah, I'm about to say, we get Mario.
The feds hate Mario. Grammys apparently hate me. They're probably working with the feds. So Nipsey getting a Grammy to me would have meant anything to me, but I do understand what that would have meant to him if he had been alive and he had gotten it. That's one of the things
that did the same thing. They did the same thing to Tupac. The same thing happened to Tupac.
Well, that's the thing. One of the things I was sad about when Nipsey died was it was literally right at the beginning of him blowing up. Literally, it was right there. We were all just waiting for the guy that we just seen literally on the corner selling mixtapes at the back of his truck. Back of his trunk, to being on TV, being worldwide, being somebody. We wanted the world to see the person that has been inspiring us. And the second that happened, this happened.
Right.
He was murdered by a punk ass bitch.
It happens. I mean, and the thing about it is when situations like that happen, you can see it. The same thing happened to Mac Dre when Mac Dre died. Mac Dre was right there. Tupac, right there. I remember when before Nip died, there was a rumor that he was doing an album with Meek Mill.
Yeah, and
at that time Meek Mill was big.
Mm-hmm.
But I know there's more music because even Big U in an interview, he said that they got a lot of music, but he don't know what they're doing with it. So there's more music. They just don't. Nobody knows what's going on. That's up to his brother, family.
I hope his family is okay. Whatever they decide, I'm with. I support that entire family. I support the entire family. I don't think his mom is crazy when people try to make it out.
No.
Because I guess she spoke. I didn't see her speak at the funeral, but I heard the things that she had said, and it sounded like it was with all the other religious beliefs that they have.
Yeah, I've seen it.
So I know she goes to Caras Unity Center, and that's the shit that she was saying is shit that they talking. I don't see how it's that much different from the shit Christians say. If you think Jesus died on the cross and rose from the dead in 3 days, or that Noah's Ark is a literal story, I personally don't see how you can judge what that woman said. But
no, she didn't say anything wrong. You could just tell that she was first of all, she was a grieving mother. Secondly, she was in a position where she had never been. She's in front of millions of people. This funeral was on BET. You know what I'm saying? It was on TV. So this thing was
at the Staples Center.
Yeah, that's how I knew people here that was trying to get tickets to go. So it was on another level. And for his siblings and his mom and his dad, and then to be put in that position, sometimes you don't know how to feel. You just numb. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna get mad. I've seen a lot of people saying, "Oh, his mom, man, she shouldn't have did this." Man, look, first of all, mind your fucking business, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't even know these people. You don't know these people.
This is her son. Who the fuck are you to say?
Yeah, you don't know these people, man. You don't know them. You can't put your feet in her shoes. So then they started talking about his sister.
Mark D. Is it Detail or Detail? I can't read. Oh, Detail. Okay. Mark Detail says white people have a history, past and present, not being fair. I think he means FAIR to black people. Black people should not give white people the power to judge. The Oscars and Grammys lose power without black people. I don't know if the Oscars lose any power because I don't think they give a fuck. Grammys definitely. Yeah. And I say lose power without black people, I don't mean us watching it. They don't give a fuck if we watch it or not.
Because we don't watch it. Nobody watches it.
Yeah, nobody watches any of these award shows anymore, honestly. But it's about the people who work in that industry not giving white people power. The problem is the white people in the industry have the resources and the access and the money.
Yes.
So that's where the problem comes in. If we own the means of something, like the production of our own music, and we ran that industry ourselves, yeah. But the problem is business is really difficult. Music business is one of the probably most ruthless business industry.
Probably outside of boxing. It's probably ruthless.
I would say, well, I wouldn't compare it to something like sports in general, but as far as how the kind of contracts that you get, that you can be a creator, they can steal your shit whenever they want
to. That's exactly how boxing works.
Yeah, probably. I don't know much about boxing. I just never compared. I don't want to compare it to sports in general because I know sports in general is different. But you might be right. But the fact, but I don't speak on what I know, and I know more about music industry and the kind of shit.
In music, they use words like perpetuity. You know what I'm saying, which means forever.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You sign your music over for perpetuity, which means forever. It's the same language in boxing contracts. You fight. I sign you to fight. I got you for 5 fights. You got to pay me 30% of your purse for perpetuity. So that means not just when you fighting for me, but when you go fight for somebody else, I got a piece of that purse. And that's the same thing they do in music. P. Diddy was doing that to artists for years. You know what I'm saying? They were basically saying, hey, that's what the whole thing with Free the Locks. When the Locks were trying to get off Bad Boy, they got off, but they didn't own any of their music. They wanted to get their masters back. So that was one of the things that Prince, there's an interview with Nas, and Nas said, they asked him was there anyone that he wanted to do music with? He said Prince. Or is there anyone he wanted to do music with but wouldn't do it with him? And he said Prince. And Prince asked him, hey man, can we do some music? And Prince asked him, do you own your masters? And Nas said no. He said, well, call me when you own your masters. You know what I'm saying? So Prince has done that to a lot of people because he was like so far ahead of the game when it came to owning your masters, owning your music. You know what I mean? To where so many artists, they sign your first contract and they say, hey, we're going to put you on. Here goes your advance. And whatever you put out, we own 50% of it. That, merchandise, and show money.
Yeah.
Now you're scrambling, you know?
I think it's when people realize what they have, I think that's really, because I think sometimes when you're an artist, there's a lot that goes on when you're an artist. Not only particularly Nipsey or anybody, I'm not going to speak any specific names, but just having listened to a lot of interviews with artists, knowing artists, being in a place like LA where you see failed artists all the time, like literally every day. The music industry is a tough industry, really tough. So I don't really always, I understand why some artists might just give up their music.
Oh yeah.
You've been sleeping on floors for a year. You only eating noodles.
That's the Anderson .Paak story.
That's almost every artist story, right? Yep. Sleeping on floors, sleeping in somebody. I think not the game. Nipsey talked about being on tour with the game and having to do that shit. You know what I mean? Tours are, and especially if you're a smaller artist, tours are not fun. I mean, the performing part is the fun part. But it's hard. It's a hard life. So if you're hungry, you can't pay your bills, your mama's, telling you to go get a regular job, you ain't had no, nothing pop off yet, and somebody says, look, make a song, we'll do, for hire, just rap your words on our beat or whatever, we'll pay you $10,000 for sure. We'll pay you $20,000 for sure. We'll pay you $50,000. That's more money than you've made in 2 years.
That's more money you ever seen in your whole life.
In your whole life at one time, right? So I get it. And then one day you find out because you don't know what you have. You think, look, artists make songs all day. Listen, producers and artists, they sit in the studio, especially music producers. I think music producers get screwed over more than artists do. But music producers all they do is sitting there all fucking day. I remember I watched so many music producers, they will sleep in the fucking studio making music. Okay? So they have all these songs they make. One of them gets to popping. You don't always know what's going to be popping. Because one thing about artists, they like all their music.
I know, especially rappers.
Rappers for sure.
Rappers don't think anything they do is whack.
Anything they do is good. If it's whack, they in their feelings,
Right.
But so they don't always know what's going to pop off. You say you like this song, they might think, this song's good, but it's not my best. But sure, take it. And it pops, and you're not getting no money for it. That's because you was hungry.
That's the story of Shaggy. It wasn't me.
That was the story.
Shaggy the singer, the reggae singer. That was his story. When he did It Wasn't Me, we know that song as being a big song. But when he did that song, the song wasn't doing anything. He almost lost his record deal for that. So what happened was it was a DJ in Hawaii that was just looking for music. And this is back in the days of Napster and all that kind of stuff. So, he heard the song, but he couldn't find it nowhere. So he downloaded it. He played it on the radio and people heard it and they wanted to play it all day long. So it got back to Shaggy that they liked the song in Hawaii. So he flew to Hawaii, did a bunch of shows. And after that, everybody caught on to it. It became platinum. It's It Wasn't Me. You know what I'm saying? But that song almost cost him his career. You know what I'm saying? Because the record label didn't see it. They was like, man, this song is whack. It's not doing anything. Look, if this don't pop, bye.
It's funny because I actually don't like that song very much, but to me, it's one of those songs that's a predictable hit.
Oh yeah.
So I would be, but this goes to show you, and artists say all the time, these labels don't know shit.
They don't know shit.
Will purposely, let me tell you how ruthless labels are. If you're an artist and you're growing and you have an audience, but this label has an artist that's similar to you, they'll sign you and shelve you, so you can't make no music. Because they don't want you competing with their artists that you sound similar to.
That's the Nas story. Russell Simmons didn't want to sign Nas because he said he sounded like Cool G Rap. Def Jam could have had Nas.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, Def Jam, they fucked up on a lot of shit.
They fucked up a lot of,
Yeah, I think they pretty much drove their own company to the ground.
Right.
But yeah, so there's all kinds of shady ways that the industry tries to lock people out and fuck black people over in particular.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's also what I think people liked about Nipsey is he was very much like, don't let these labels fuck you over. And you hear artists say that they learned that from Nipsey.
Yep.
I think Nipsey said, I think who was his name? Why can't I think of his name? YG. YG says that in one of the Nipsey songs. I forgot which one it was.
They say a lot of artists, they say Nipsey and E40.
Oh, E40. And I think what's his name? E40's uncle in particular, who they honor. That's what Master P credits a lot of his knowledge to. And we know Master P and the great things he's done as far as business.
Yeah.
Which is so funny to me because it's also going to show you because Master P really got big off of hood shit.
Oh yeah.
And it's amazing how much people don't realize the money that's in the black community if you just support within the black community. I think Tyler Perry's another example of that. You can say what you want about his shitty ass movies.
Yeah, he make money doing it.
His audience has always been black. He's never veered from it. Not one time.
They loyal.
Right? I think he had like a couple of big studio movies, and then that was it. Like he wasn't even trying to like go further into that. They asked him, You weren't, because the conversation about Oscars being so white, and they asked him about being nominated for an Oscar. He said he don't care about that shit. He said, I don't care.
That nigga got a big ass black owned studio in Atlanta. He don't need no fucking Oscar. He got the studio.
Right, there we go. And I think sometimes I think that's the other thing, is that Nipsey, Master P, E40, they stayed loyal to who they were targeting. And if that blew up, it blew up. But they knew that there was money already there. That, what's the name of that movie? I Got the Hookup. That shit was low budget.
Yep.
But it's hood comedy. It's shit we think is funny because it was funny as hell. It was crazy as shit. It was a humor that only people in the hood really got.
Yep.
But for some reason we had enough money to support it and make him wealthy off of that.
Yeah.
And all the other work that he did, and the music was good outside of soccer. Now it's his brother, so we let it slide. But nobody wanted to hear Silk the Shocker. Let's be clear. But he brought us Mystical. And
I mean, when you have a good product, and this the thing in the hood, like they call ghetto gold, you might not go platinum, mainstream, because the only way you're gonna go platinum is if white folks like it. You know what I'm saying? If white folks do it, you go platinum. Black people ain't gonna make you platinum. It's not happening.
And the reality is, a lot of those artists that become big because they get mainstream, there's a lot of money that goes into making them that big. Right?
Oh, hell yeah.
You have to have a PR team that gets you big, right? You have to have the right connections. You got to have that payola. I don't care if they tell you it's illegal. That's just still real.
Oh, it's real. They still do it. It's still real. Yeah, no, it goes into it. It's more than just you came into the studio, they thought you could rap really good, and now all of a sudden you popping. Because if it happened for somebody, it would have happened for Nas. And it didn't happen for Nas. You know what I'm saying?
They sell it that way, though. Not the artists themselves necessarily, but the industry. Like even when I love documentaries, right? So I'm obsessed with them, including, sorry, I've been having some bad. I lean to the left a lot because I have some pain. But I watch these documentaries, these Hollywood documentaries. And some are interesting, some are really good in that they give you real shit.
Yeah.
And then you have others that give you bullshit.
Yeah.
So I was watching this Audrey Hepburn one, and the way that they tell the story was like, oh, she was just captivating and magical, and she just worked so hard. And what they don't tell you is stuff like, the people who had to say yes and check that box. You don't magically become successful. You got chosen to be successful. They chose you to be the.
They had the look.
They had the look that they thought could sell. Then they said, okay. But guess what? There are a lot of girls with a lot of looks.
Yeah.
Right? They chose this person for whatever reason. And that's also what they never include in any of these documentaries. I noticed a lot of people's rise to the top. They have to sell you this American dream bullshit. They never tell you how many dicks they had to suck to get
because they sucked them all. They sucked all of them.
We know it happens. We know it for a fact.
Yep.
Shit that happens outside of entertainment. So it happens in entertainment.
It happens in politics.
It happens in politics. We know that for a fact too, right? It happens in business all the time.
Yep.
But nobody ever. But they make it out like all these people. That's why I hate. This black person was the first. Like they talk about Tyra Banks. She was congratulating her. She's a barrier breaker and a groundbreaker. She was the first black woman on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
She didn't accomplish shit. They chose her for that.
They chose her for that.
Somebody said we need a black girl for the cover who's black but still likable to white people. And they picked Tyra. She had big titties because white boys love skinny girls with big titties.
She had a 5 head. Her head was like mine with a 4-head.
I like Tyra. I mean, I think she's crazy. Don't get me wrong. I don't like her, but I think she's a pretty girl. I thought she was beautiful, but I just feel like it's funny how we talk about it as though she accomplished something, as though she wasn't chosen. Like white people had to say, "Oh, that's the black person we want." She didn't say, "Let me work my way up to the Sports Illustrated thing," and there was a measurement of how to get there. Right. And it's the same thing with anything. People get chosen for these positions. They get chosen to be the star because they suck the right dick, or they might want to fuck with the right person, or the manager grease the right pockets and grease the right hands. Like, that's all it is. It has nothing to do with how talented you are, how good you are or any of that shit.
There's long lines of families like Nicole. Not is it Nicole Kidman?
Say it again.
Is it Nicole Kidman? It's not Nicole Kidman. It's a certain actress. But they have a long line of family members that's been in Hollywood for over 100 years. You know, you have Nicolas Cage. His family is Francis Ford Coppola.
Drew Barrymore.
Huh? Drew Barrymore. The Barrymore family. Yep. That's who it is.
Yep. The Barrymores. They're known. There's actually a lot more than that. A lot of people change their names. Or,
yes, like Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. The Estevez brothers. What is Sheen? The Sheen
Charlie
family.
Sheen. Yep.
Sheen is not their real name. I think Estevez is their real name.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
There's a few, and there's a lot of people. I think that girl, what's that girl from Girls? The girl that's always tripping, the little ugly one.
Mm-hmm.
She'd be mad. She was mad because Odell Beckham wasn't flirting with her or something.
Oh, I forgot her name. That ugly fat
girl. Her.
Yeah.
Whatever. She's related to
Lena Dunham.
Yeah, she's related to what's the dude's name? I'm so terrible with names today. I don't know what it is. Dude from Happy Gilmore.
Oh, Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler.
I didn't know they were related.
Yeah, they're related. I was reading something. I think almost this person pointed out how all these people were related to somebody in Hollywood.
Yeah.
They were producers. So that will be like producers' kids or friends of somebody that grew up with somebody's kid. You know, all kinds of shit. So it's rarely ever just some organic celebrity who, you know.
You'd have to go look at like Eddie Murphy and people like that, where it's like literally organic and they're just really good and better than everybody else.
I see the thing about comedians in particular, especially I'll say black comedians in particular, it's a whole different animal. You have to fight like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
So yeah, I say comedy. I wouldn't even put black comedians necessarily in that category.
White comedians they're gonna get the nod over a black comedian any day because they can cross over. Like
unless you're a coon. If you coon,
oh yeah.
They got your back.
What's his name? What's the one dude that was? He's the one that drew all the attention to Bill Cosby. What's his name? Hannibal Buress.
Hannibal Buress.
Yeah, and he's not funny.
He's funny sometimes. He's not always funny. Like it's hard. You're hard pressed to find the funny points in some of his
I don't get it.
You think he's a coon? I don't know if he's a coon.
I think he is.
What did he do?
It's just the way, it's when you're talking about comedy, you have Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, Dave Chappelle, some more, Bernie Mac, and then you got like those
are older people.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. But then you got the step and fetch it type comedy where you always smiling, showing your teeth. You always trying to appeal.
That's how I feel about the Wayans brothers.
The Wayans brothers?
They be cooning.
Are you talking about Sean and Marlon?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They do all that soft shit.
And when they give some political commentary, I think it was Damon Wayans that T pointed out. Who did he shit on?
I don't know.
D.L. Hughley did too. Oh, the girls. With the dude.
Oh yeah.
The nappy-headed hoes.
No, that was D.L. Hughley that did that.
No, it was also Damon Wayans.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he
did it too.
Shitting on the basketball players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was saying that he thinks all black people were thinking the same thing. That's what he said. Damon Wayans said that.
That's that trying to be edgy shit.
But I think
edgy.
But I think they be cooning. So when I see people up there cooning, I think people like that. I think Tracy Morgan be cooning.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
she be doing too much place to. I think what's that? Leslie.
Oh my God! Don't even. Yeah.
Which I will be honest with you, I thought she did a good job in Coming to America. What'd you say?
She be doing too much.
She do, but I think she did good. She actually did good in that. I think she fit.
Leslie Jones.
I think she. And the thing is, if she wasn't so extra, she reminds me of an annoying person in my class that wouldn't shut the fuck up but thought they were funny. That's what she reminds me of. She was just goofy. But in that movie, I thought she did pretty good.
She's not organically funny, so probably somebody probably wrote that shit for her. Eddie Murphy or somebody probably wrote that shit.
Probably, I think some shit she probably ad-libbed. I don't know, but her character was like her.
Yeah.
So that probably made it a little bit easier. But she be cooning. I hate her hair. I think her hair in itself is an offense.
That's some coon shit.
Um,
Her hair is
Eric
some coon
Andre.
Shit. Eric Andre be on some coon shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think he's funny. My baby brother.
He be running around with Hannibal Buress.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think W. Kamau Bell. That's another one.
Yeah.
I don't think he's funny. I think he's a comedian. Isn't he a comedian?
Kamau Bell?
Yeah, what he be doing?
I don't know. He follows the podcast. I forgot what he does.
Oh, well, I like W. Kamau Bell. He's the funniest. His wife is white, but I need to slide.
I think he does. I text T. I think T. I can't remember. I could be wrong though. I could have swore he did though.
Kenan Thompson. Thompson. Yes, I forgot what I seen him do recently that pissed me off. What did he do recently? He did some sketch. Oh, he did the Gorilla Glue Girl sketch. I thought it was just pure coonery, and I was like, yeah, I didn't like that at all.
Yeah, it's not. He didn't write that.
He's not funny. Eric Andre is every stoner white boy's favorite black comedian. Probably. I don't know white boys like that, so you're probably right. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, he is.
But the thing is, like, selling out in Hollywood and cooning in Hollywood ain't nothing new.
No, fuck. That's Hollywood.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't fuck with the sellout shit. And I think that's the other thing I think we liked about Nipsey is he stayed consistent.
Yeah,
he didn't change. Also said in that thing I wrote is he was himself always. He repped his gang, he had his tats, he didn't back down for nobody, he didn't pull his pants up. No. You know, all the shit that people tell you.
And he didn't let anyone just approach him on some disrespectful shit.
Nope.
Like you weren't allowed to be disrespectful just because he's a celebrity.
Right. Oh, he wouldn't allow you to disrespect his own bodyguard.
No.
Remember they called it a victory slap?
Mm-hmm. I remember that. Was that at the Grammys?
BET Awards or Grammys or something.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah.
I think once of the BET Awards or something. But yeah, I guess he looked up on his bodyguard and then slapped him. Like, you ain't gonna
remember
that. That shit was crazy. You know, he didn't care who you were. He wasn't gonna let you disrespect him. And he didn't try to make himself out something other than what he was.
Right.
You know what I mean? He didn't make himself out to be this clean cut guy that, you know, in business. He was like, I'm myself. I rep my gang. It is what it is. And they still gotta respect me. And they did. You know, that's why I don't like these programs for the youth. One thing I hate, and there's a lot with youth programs. They do it with girls too, but with girls it's a little bit, the way they do it is different. But with boys, they always do this thing where it's like they swear they're helping the boys in the community. All they tell them is to put on a tie, cut their hair, pull up the pants, tuck in your shirt, how to be a respectable Negro. And that's all they teach these guys. What's so funny about that is a lot of if there are ways that if you want to change certain things, you'll adjust based off of what is necessary for you, right? If you just empower these young men, they'll start to adjust to what is necessary for their goals. You don't.
Yeah, when you tell them just put on a tie and put their pants up, that's sound like some shit you would have said 75 years ago when black folks were still getting lynched. Like, it doesn't even make any sense. You know, if you just dress better and you just talk better, then white folks will treat you better. They're gonna call you a nigga if you got a 3-piece fucking suit on.
Look, you can put that 3-piece suit on, they still not gonna hire your black ass.
Nope. Put that
monkey suit on. That white boy ex-con though.
Yep.
In a heartbeat. Yep.
That's why when I go to dinners and all that kind of stuff, I don't change the way I dress. I ain't about to put on no dress shoes with no socks and no, dude. No, I'm not doing that because you don't give a fuck about me anyway. So why do you care about how I'm dressing?
You know, I just always find it interesting that the goal is to always try to make people respectable Negroes with that respectable politics shit. How do we make white people less uncomfortable? I think I seen a tweet the other day, and it said, as black people, how do you make yourself less threatening to other people? And I just put a question mark. I was like, what?
What are you
First
talking
of all,
about?
I don't walk around trying to make myself less threatening to white people. I don't care if they think I'm a threat. And I'm good with you thinking I'm a threat.
Fuck.
I don't want you. I'm glad if you're scared if I walk in.
Yeah, I wouldn't give a fuck. Are you serious?
I'm never gonna. The thing is, I'm a friendly person anyway. Like I'm a social person. I love talking to people. I'm that motherfucker at the grocery store that'll talk to you in line and we'll have a great conversation. Have motherfuckers laughing and I learn some new shit every time. Especially old people. They love talking to you. They love
giving you don't advice. Talk to me, I'm not talking to you. I ain't about to break it. I ain't about to walk into the store and see nobody saying them like, hey, how you doing? My name's Kenny. Man, you better kiss my
ass. That's not what I said. Don't nobody do that. Don't nobody do no weirdo shit like that.
But that's what that sounds like when
no,
they say
when I say I talk to people.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about what the person said about being less threatening to white people.
Oh, like, yeah.
What do you do? Run up in the store and just shake everybody's hand or some shit? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
That's the thing. I'm just a friendly person, so I'm gonna just be like, if I were at the store and we're looking at the same thing, I might just say something like, "Oh wow, I was looking for that same thing. You got the last one. I'll find somewhere else, whatever," and we'll just start talking. I'm a friendly person like that,
Yeah.
I'm one of those weirdos, and my friends think it's funny. My family thinks it's really funny. I can literally go anywhere for like 10 minutes and walk out with friends.
Right.
I'm that person. Because I just like people. I'm that person. But so I don't have to go out of my way to make myself less threatening to people. If they're threatened by the fact that I'm black, there's nothing I'm going to do to change that.
There really ain't.
Anyway.
There ain't shit you can do about that.
What'd you say?
There's nothing you could do about that.
Ain't shit you can do about it. Because that's the thing about like white women. Let me not say women. White bitches in particular, and I'm saying bitch for a very particular reason. If they're threatened by you, they go out of their way to act like they're not threatened by you and try to look up on you. That's what happens to me. And then the second you give them what they asking for, they start crying, talking about they don't call the police. Oh, you trying to hit me and screaming and shit. I've had that happen. Well, I think I've told those stories multiple times on here. I have so many stories of white bitches.
Being less threatening is opening the door for them to be passive aggressive.
Being less threatening is opening the door to be less respected. That's for sure. You know what I mean? You're basically opening the door for them to say, "Oh, I can just do whatever the fuck I want." And white people learn real quick with me, especially. Let me tell you something. Working as a nanny in wealthy neighborhoods taught me a whole lot, and not even just the families I worked with, or And I never say worked for because I feel like they're my clients because I charge a lot. I'm a very expensive nanny. But I realized from working in places like Redondo Beach, Beverly Hills, those kind of places, Century City, that white people are threatened by your presence, period. There's nothing you're gonna do. I'm a nanny. That means I'm nice and I'm with kids at the park, having so I'm not a person who's. There's nothing threatening about a nanny. If you've ever met a nanny, a real nanny, that's on TV. Or the big husky mean.
Yeah, not the nanny, the cartoon.
No, real nannies are really great with children, right? You see me at the park being a nanny to children, and yet you think I'm a threat to you. That happens. I had a white bitch screaming at me. All these white folks surrounded her, comforted her after she talked crazy to me. And I was like, what? I checked her on her talking to me crazy is what happened. And she started saying, "Oh, are you gonna hit me?" Now mind you, the bitch is pregnant. Well, why would I fucking hit a pregnant bitch?
Right.
Nobody does that unless you're insane or an abuser, right?
An abuser, yeah.
Nobody hits pregnant women. I wasn't gonna hit her anyway because she wasn't a physical threat to me. So why the fuck would I hit her? She started screaming and hollering like I was going to hit her because I checked her. She was talking crazy to me over some dumb shit. So after that was finished, after she finished hollering and screaming, she was like, "Fine, I'm leaving," and she was walking off, and all the white people in the park started comforting her and gathering her. Now, one of them white folks walked over to me and said, "Are you okay? What happened?" You know who did? An Asian lady.
Yep.
I know we in the middle of this Asian black beef right now. Fuck that. I don't even buy into that bullshit. This Asian lady was the only one who said, "Honey, are you okay?" She was an older Asian lady at that. And I said, I was really upset. I wasn't gonna cry, but I was angry, you know.
Yeah.
And I was kind of. And the thing is, when you're having the experience, and you see all the people comforting her, like this bitch is the victim, and she's the one who came at me crazy. It's something about that just makes you even more upset.
Oh yeah. Then you thinking, man, I should have beat this bitch's ass.
I should have beat her ass.
Yeah, give her a reason to comfort this bitch.
Right. But I'm not gonna beat up this woman at a park in front of children. Like,
no.
Who does that in front of my children that I'm working with? On top of that, right?
Right.
But this Asian lady said, "Honey, are you okay?" She's like, "Girl, Redondo Beach is racist. I'm gonna tell you right now." And if you remember that white lady years ago, it was not years ago, but a couple years ago, it was a white lady just going off in the park. Mm-hmm. She was actually cussing out Asian people. She was this old white lady just in Torrance going off. Torrance is right next to Redondo Beach. In fact, the park I was at was in Torrance. And this white lady was just going off on Asian people randomly.
Wow.
White lady. I mean, literally, this one Asian girl recorded this lady just going off. That's in Torrance. White people, Torrance and Redondo Beach are notoriously racist. Just so you guys know, like notoriously racist. So my point is just that white people are going to always see you as a threat. You know, I hadn't done anything wrong except check her and talking crazy to me, as you should. And I'm sure she would have done the same if I talked crazy to her, right? But somehow when you're black, you become
you gotta just bow down and just take it.
And I think that's the thing. I'm not one of those people where I'm gonna just bow down and take it. No, I'm not a Sagittarius. I'm a Scorpio. I don't know why you thought of Sagittarius. I don't know shit about Zodiac.
I was like, what the fuck that got to do with anything?
I don't know. I don't really believe in astrology. I don't believe in astrology because I don't know much about actual astrology. I think most of the shit these niggas be saying on online or in person, I don't think they be actually know. I think just repeat shit.
All these niggas know Mercury's in retrograde. That's all they know.
I don't even know because I think astrology might be a real thing for people who actually study it and know the history of it, and in real life, not just people who repeat some their horoscope of the day type shit.
Right.
Or some nigga just literally
say they don't like men who are Tauruses or men who are Geminis.
And you know what's funny? Most of the shit that they say are personality traits from your birth are actually personality traits you develop from your experiences. Like your trauma.
These are learned behaviors.
Yeah. So when people say those things, like you're a Scorpio, so you're reactionary or whatever.
No, nigga,
I think you become reactionary when you're through trauma, and all you know is to defend yourself. Nothing to do with it.
Didn't have anything to do with me being born in November. Just saying.
RP said that we're very gregarious. I don't know what the word gregarious means. So, all you niggas who are smart, I'm not one of them smart niggas. I know I come across sometimes people like I'm an academic. I failed most of high school. I just went to school in the hood where they don't give a fuck. And it just passed you as long as
being gregarious just means you're sociable. That's all.
Oh. You smart.
I like
that. School. You got like 5 degrees or some shit. I don't. So I don't know all that shit.
I got 5 and I don't know where they are.
I gotta look up words like this is how bad I am. I really be on Twitter sometimes having to Google words, so I don't know what y'all be talking about because I'm not that. I'm really not. I'm not the studious one. I'm just not. It means being a lot like Greg. Who the hell is Greg? He's Greg. You know what's funny, Landrasil? That's pretty much how I define words. I'm trying to break it down. Greg Arias. You must be like Greg. So
right.
At any rate, we're about to go. We appreciate you guys for joining us tonight. We didn't do any of our what's the word that they use? Not housekeeping.
House cleaning.
House cleaning? No, I think it's housekeeping.
Yeah,
we didn't do the work. We didn't do what we were supposed to do. We
didn't do our job.
We didn't put the banners up. We didn't tell y'all to like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm surprised T didn't remind us.
He was here earlier.
Yeah, you should have reminded us. So since we're leaving, I'll remind you now. Please make sure that you like, comment, share, subscribe. And also, if you want to support Subscribe on Patreon, patreon.com/champagne sharks. We have podcasts on there. We have more coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, we have one that just came out. We have over 200 episodes on. If you become a patron, you have access to every one of them from the beginning.
Wow. See, I didn't even know that. I don't think I have access to that.
Yeah, which was beginning before I was on there. Big Mike was still there, rest in peace. And
oh wow.
All you get access to everything on the Patreon, and also join the Discord.
Oh, the Discord. I'm now on Discord talking and shit. I'm being better about it. So if y'all want to talk to me on there, please feel free. Be the Star is the name on there. Thank you so much, RP, for the donation. We appreciate it. What is this? Just blaming niggas when they ain't here. Shade. Look, I'm just saying, T didn't remind us when he was here. That's all I'm saying.
I forgot.
But yes, it helps us out a lot. It helps us be able to continue to do this. It helps me be able to get a new laptop so my mic can be better, or because right now
your microphone has a crazy pickup sounds on it. Like I don't know where you got that mic from.
You want the podcast mic? I know.
Oh my God! I was listening to the replay of the podcast we just did. I was listening to the replay. I was like, where the fuck did you get this mic from?
It picks up everything, right? I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm probably gonna get a new one, hopefully soon.
God damn, that's a strong.
I recently got laid off from my full-time job, y'all, so I can't afford a new mic. Yeah, I did.
You just got that job?
No, I didn't get that job.
Oh.
They want me for another position though, so we'll see what happens.
Okay.
So they hit me for another position, so we'll see. But as of right now, I'm on unemployment, waiting for my unemployment check. So until then, I won't be able to get a new mic. Unless you
get
guys
that CashApp, that Venmo, that PayPal.
So I need more than a pop filter. Probable cause. I need a new mic. Trust me, that shit it picks up.
That motherfucker can pick up the Grand Canyon. Shit.
But yes, you can hit us up on Venmo or CashApp. Champagne Sharks is our cash tag. Also our Venmo name. You can also PayPal us. ChampagneSharks@gmail is our PayPal. I've been checking our email and y'all have not been hitting us up. We said y'all can email us with questions, comments, advice. It could be anonymous if you want to, whatever. Feel free to hit us up. We're available. We're around. We love chatting it up. Thank you all so much. Kenny, where can they find you since you're not on Twitter anymore?
Nowhere.
You cannot get access to Kenny unless you subscribe to the Patreon and follow us here. Like, share, subscribe on YouTube and Twitch and Periscope or wherever you're watching, because you cannot find Kenny otherwise.
If I create another Twitter page, I'll let everybody know. But as of right now, I'm not on any social media. So.
He's not going to create another Twitter page. And if he do, he's not going to let y'all know. I know that for a fact.
What about that?
Well, probable cause that he got your number for sale. So
you're selling my phone number. I give my work number.
But let y'all know, even if probable cause is gonna scam you, he's not gonna give you Kenny's number.
He'll show the fuck ain't. He gonna be kicking all your money.
Is Time still a number? Can you still call Time?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't done that in like 25 years. I forgot about that.
I'm gonna still call Time.
I forgot about that.
It used to be like 854 any number or something like that. Right?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Why you tell my scam? Because you a scammer, probable cause. Thank you all. Let's get out of here. Thank you all so much. Rest in power and bliss and everything else, Nipsey Hussle. We love and respect you and your legacy. Thank you to everyone for joining us as we honor him. Kenny is not throwing up gang signs. He's just throwing up LA.
No, gang signs.
That ain't what he's doing right now. No. Y'all have a great one, okay? Peace.